Hello out there. Saturday night, the cabin. So, yeah, some videos. And it's a big day because I'm not wearing a Band-Aid today because my antibiotic is done enough to where it's not too awful looking. I'm going to read you a story today. It's always, in fact, by the time I get done, when I taught school, the very first day, I always read this book to them. It's called Scaredy Squirrel, not the Scaredy Squirrel. And then the very last day of the year, I always read this book to them. And I may get to both in the night, and I may not, but we are going to get to Scaredy Squirrel. And when I was trying to think, what music do I need for Scaredy Squirrel? And I started thinking, there is no other music that's right for Scaredy Squirrel except for this music right here. And we'll play half the song now and half the song at the end because it's too good to just shut off. Can anybody think what would be a good squirrel song? I mean, people my age, what would be a good squirrel song? Going to church.
Well, when I was a kid, I'd take a trip every summer down to Mississippi, visit my granny and her antebellum world. I'd run barefooted all day long, climbing trees, free as song. One day, I happened to catch myself a squirrel. Well, I stuffed him down in an old shoebox and punched a couple of holes in the top. When Sunday came, I snuck him in the church. I was sitting way back in the very last pew, showing him to my good buddy Hugh. When that squirrel got loose, went totally berserk. What happened next is hard to tell. Some thought it was heaven, some thought it was hell. But the fact that something was among us was plain to see. As the choir sang, I surrender all, the squirrel ran up Harv Newland's coveralls. And Harv leaped to his feet, said, something's got a hold on me. Yeah! The day the squirrel went berserk in the First Self-Righteous Church in that sleepy little town of Pascagoula. It was a fight for survival that broke out in revival. They were jumping pews and shouting, hallelujah. Well, Harv into out dancing and screaming. Some thought he had religion, others thought he had a demon, and Harv thought he had a weed eater loose and screwed the moons. He fell to his knees to plead and beg, and that squirrel ran out of his britches leg unobserved to the other side of the room. All the way down to the amen pew where sat Sister Bertha Better Than You, who'd been watching all the commotion with sadistic glee. Should have seen that look in her eyes when that squirrel jumped her garters and crossed her thighs. She jumped to her feet and said, Lord, have mercy on me.
Lord, have mercy on me.
As the squirrel made laps inside her dress, she began to cry, and then to confess her sins and make a sailor blush with shame. She told of gossip and church dissension, but the thing that got the most attention is when she talked about her love life. And then she started naming names the day of the
Squirrel went berserk in the First Self-Righteous Church in sleepy little town of Pascagoula, Pascagoula. Okay, we left at a good part, but anyway, that song's a real special song. My son taught his two boys to sing it, and I asked him to sing it at our wedding, and he didn't know whether he's going to, but I think after a couple glasses of wine, he was able to, so that was one of our wedding songs. Okay, I'm sorry about my tooth. It's not fixed yet. Sorry about my chin. It's not healed yet. But peace out, brother. I'm here. Okay, first day. Now, I'm writing this down as a children's book, but we are all children. And this book is good for me right now because I'm a big old scaredy squirrel right now of everything. And I wasn't before. So, here we go. There's a warning in here that says, Scaredy Squirrel insists that everyone wash their hands with antibacterial soap before reading this book. Now, I've already done that. Okay? And the light seems kind of weird tonight. I'm using one of my new Christmas gifts, and it's a little light that you can put on, but I decided to put it on the kaleidoscope, so it's turning all around, making different colors. So Who knows what color my face will be? It might cover up the chin or the teeth. Who knows? Here we go. Scaredy Squirrel by Melanie Watt, W-A-T-T. Scaredy Squirrel never leaves his nut tree. And there is Scaredy Squirrel. Right now, I don't ever leave the house. So I need to listen about Scaredy Squirrel. He never leaves his nut tree. And once you see this sign, see the big red sign, it says the unknown. That's what he's scared of, the unknown. So I'll read this other page now. He'd rather stay in his safe and familiar tree than risk venturing out into the unknown. The unknown can be a very scary place for a squirrel. A few things that Scaredy Squirrel is afraid of. Tarantulas and poison ivy. Green Martians and killer bees. There's the green Martians. There's the killer bees. All you kiddos of all ages. Also, germs and sharks. So he's perfectly happy to stay right where he is. He's giving you a thumbs up. I'm perfectly happy to stay right in this cabin right now. Okay. All right. Advantages of never leaving the the nut tree. Well, the cabin is a nut tree, but whatever. Advantages of never leaving the nut tree. 1, a great view. 2, plenty of nuts. 3, it's a safe place. And there are no spiders, poison ivy, green Martians, killer bees. Sharks are at the end, and what's the other one I'm not getting here? Forget the other one. Hang on. Some of you kids remember. Germs! How could I forget that? And the spider was a tarantula. Now, the disadvantages of never leaving the tree. We're doing pros and cons. These are the cons of never leaving the tree. Same old view. Same old nuts. Same old place. In Scaredy Squirrel Nut Tree, every day it's the same. Everything is predictable. All is under control. I'm going to show you day by day. Here is Monday. Here is Tuesday. Here is Wednesday. Ooh, he's venturing out there. Here is Thursday. Here is Friday. Oh, look up at the top. Here is Saturday. And here is Sunday. And then he starts the whole thing again. If you're an adult listening to Scaredy Squirrel, kind of relate this to your own life at some time. Scaredy Squirrel's daily routine. Here it is. 6:45 a.m. Wake up. 7 o'clock a.m. Eat a nut. 7:15 a.m. Look at the view. So here's the schedule, but we've got more. Okay. 12 o'clock noon. Eat a nut. 12:30. Look at the view. 5 o'clock. Eat a nut. 5:31. Look at the view. And 8 o'clock p.m., go to sleep. There's his schedule. Sounds kind of like a school schedule. But let's say, just for example, that something did happen, unexpected, that something unexpected did happen. A light bulb in his head. You can rest assured that this squirrel is prepared. Look at his safety kit. A few items. You should not get close, then you see my corroded chin. It won't be corroded much longer. A few items in his safety emergency kit is a parachute, bug spray, mask and rubber gloves, a hard hat, antibacterial soap, calamine lotion, sardines, everybody needs that, Band-Aid, and last but not least, a net. What to do in case of an emergency according to Scaredy Squirrel. Now see, he's got his life plan out. Now, here's his plan. Step 1, panic. Step 2, run. Step 3, get kit. Step 4, put on kit. Step 5, consult exit plan. And the last one, step 6, exit tree. If there is absolutely, definitely, truly no other option. There's his plan. Okay. Okay. Actually, here's his exit plan. Exit 1. Note to self. Watch out for green Martians and killer bees in the sky. Exit 2. Note to self. Do not land in river. If unavoidable, use the sardines to distract the sharks. Exit plan 3. Note to self. Look out for poison ivy, right down here, and tarantulas roaming the ground. And the last exit plan, exit 4, here are those germs. Note to self. Keep in mind that germs are everywhere. Remember, at the bottom, if all else fails, playing dead is always a good option. With his emergency kit in hand, Scaredy Squirrel watches. Day after day, he watches. Notice what's in his hand. Day after day, he watches until one day, Thursday at 9:37 a.m. Look very, very good at this picture. What's he seeing? Buzz. A killer bee approaches. Scaredy Squirrel jumps in panic, knocking his emergency kit out of the tree. Oh my. This was not part of the plan. His emergency kit went bye-bye. Scaredy Squirrel jumps to catch his kit. He quickly regrets this idea, because guess what's in the kit? His parachute is in the kit. But somehow, but something incredible happens. What do you think's going to happen? There's his falling kit. There's the killer bee. Oh, duh. I forgot that the page folded out. You can tell it's been a while. So here's the kit. And it says something incredible happens. Looky. Looky. He starts to glide. Scaredy Squirrel is no ordinary squirrel. He's a flying squirrel. We used to have those all the time where I used to live. They're kind of rare, but they exist. Now, I knew I was missing a page. Now, he feels overjoyed. He feels adventurous. Scaredy Squirrel forgets all about the killer bee. Not to mention the tarantulas, the poison ivy, the green Martians, the germs, and what's the last one? That's right, the sharks. Carefree, alive, until he lands in a bush. And he plays dead. And 30 minutes later, and 1 hour later, still playing dead. And 2 hours later, see how that's working for him. Finally, oh, I'm looking at the squirrel up there. Finally, Scaredy Squirrel realizes that nothing horrible is happening in the unknown today. So he returns to his nut tree. All this excitement has inspired Scaredy Squirrel to make some drastic changes to his life. I got no idea what his changes are going to be. Scaredy Squirrel's new and improved daily routine. 6:45. Wake up. 7 o'clock a.m. Eat a nut. 7:15 a.m. Look at the view. But at 9:37 a.m., here's his new plan. Look. Jump into the unknown. 9:45 a.m. Up at the top. Play dead. 11:45 a.m. Return home. 12 o'clock a.m. Eat a nut. 12:30 p.m. Look at the view. 5 o'clock p.m. Eat a nut. 5:31 p.m. Look at the view. And 8 o'clock p.m., what do you think, kids? Go to sleep. He snuck in a 9:37 jump into the unknown. And he's out to 11:45. And he's not scared. P.S. As for the emergency kit, Scaredy Squirrel is in no hurry to pick it up. Look where it landed. Landed right in the poison ivy. And check out where Scaredy Squirrel's rear end is. That is the end. And then in my classrooms, of course I'm retired, in my classrooms we would talk about how they felt the first day of school, whether they felt kind of like Scaredy Squirrel, and then by the end of the day, how were they feeling, and they were starting to venture out in the unknown, and it just made a really great book. It makes a great book for adults. It's a great book for if you're going through something. I relate very much to Scaredy Squirrel. Now, Scaredy Squirrel is a lot different than this little squirrel that got loose in the church and ran up the lady's clothes. And let's finish that song. It's almost over. About a minute left.
7 deacons and the pastor got saved, and $25,000 was raised, and 50 volunteered for missions in the Congo on the spot. And even without an invitation, there were at least 500 rededications, and we all got rebaptized whether we needed it or not. Now, you've heard the Bible story, I guess, how he parted the waters for Moses to pass over the miracles God has wrought in this old world. The one I'll remember till my dying day is how he put that church back on the narrow way with a half-crazed Mississippi Squirrel. The day the squirrel went berserk in the first self-righteous church in that stupid little town of Pascagoula. It was a fight
For survival.
that broke out in revival. They were jumping pews and shouting hallelujah. The day the squirrel went berserk in the first self-righteous church in that stupid little town of Pascagoula.